Hello, my dearest friends, my dearest beautiful co-creator souls of love and light. This is Lady Nanari, Princess of the Sea, coming to you with a new video. And in this video, I wish to share with you a story. This story is about a little girl who came here to this earth with her spiritual gifts. As an empath, a sensitive, and the ability to hear, see, feel, and understand the universe in ways multidimensionally that are beyond many here. She's much like a Pachelbel, a Mozart, a Bach, a Van Gogh, Einstein, or Tesla. And this little girl inherently knew that love is telling the authentic truth of the soul. Yet this little girl experienced the complete opposite. In grade 1, her grade 1 teacher used to pull on her hair and drag her around the classroom and ridicule her in front of her peers and beat her knuckles with a yardstick to get her to behave and conform. In grade 4, her grade 4 teacher spent the year telling her she would never amount to anything, that she was nothing, and she would never be nothing, and she was never good enough. Her own parents, in various ways, were highly abusive. Her mother, who knew no different than to do what her father did to her, used to beat this little girl almost daily. There was a purple tree out in their front yard that had thin branches, in which she would tell her child, tell this little girl, go get your switch. And she would do so, and she would be beaten. Or she would be beaten with a shoe or a rock or a belt or a comb or whatever was handy. She would have her mouth washed out with soap, this little girl, for sassing back in speaking the truth, the real truth of love, of compassion, of loving kindness. She was told by her mother constantly that she would cry at the drop of a hat and that she was too emotional, too sensitive. And she would lock this little girl in her room for 14 hours a night with no food, no water, no use of the washroom, for sassing back. And she would have to stay locked in that room until the next morning for school. Her father, when she was 6 and won the spelling bee and was so excited to share it with her father, ignored her, zoned out in front of the TV. Or he would emotionally abuse her, saying things such as, "You'll never make it in the music business. You can't sing," and other such put-downs. She once was sketch artistry, and at an age of 9, she'd do sketch artistry. And he put her down for that, saying she wasn't any good. And at 15, this young girl was raped by a gentleman who worked with her, that offered her a ride home because her parents wouldn't come pick her up. And her father's response was that she deserved it, that she deserved to be raped. This little girl was constantly bullied and teased in school for being different, having different colored hair, not wearing the right clothes on free dress days. This little girl walked to the beat of a different drum. She was often called delusional or crazy. She didn't do things the way that normal people did. She had the thoughts and ideas in the spiritual realms, like Tesla and Einstein. And as this young woman grew, she became angry at the world and everyone in it, suffering from the trauma imposed upon her as a child. And yet something deep within her knew that this wasn't love, that she was being taught some sort of a lesson, which she came to understand was actually a soul remembering, a remembering of the soul. And she never let any of those things that were said or done to her stop her. She constantly took leaps of faith. She blossomed into being an international author, a speaker, helping transform and heal thousands of lives because she healed within herself. She came into her own inner child healing. She forgave her parents to realize that her family of origin is not always your real family. She made something of her life. An author of 6 books, mentoring people across the globe who on a daily basis write to her and tell her how she has helped them to heal. Because she came into her own mother and her own father within her. She came to understand that the universe, Mother Earth and Father Sky, are her real family and her soul family that she's connected to on this earth. And it all came from one sentence that will change your life. And that was the sentence that she heard God, Source, Spirit, the Master Artist say to her many years ago. And that was this: I love you simply because you exist. You matter to me. Do you really hear that? Can you hear that with your heart? Because this little girl who grew into this woman heard that deep within her heart. Because you see, God, Source, the Master Artist, this energy you want to call spirit, whatever you choose to call it, does not care about any stunts you pull or any masks. Source simply loves you because you exist. Because you matter. Because you're here. What if we all grew up in an environment, we were raised, instead of being brought up or grew up, what if we were raised, uplifted with these simple words, this one sentence: I love you because you exist. Simply because you exist. You matter to me. You are beautiful. I see all your scars, bumps, bruises, masks, and all, and you're still beautiful to me. You can do anything. You are amazing. You are safe and you are loved. That is love telling the real, authentic truth. And so over a half a century later, many years ago even, this little girl who blossomed into this woman forgave her parents and forgave all of those people who bullied her and called her delusional and crazy and who harmed her in any way. The man who raped her, even her ex-husband who harmed her in similar ways. She came to forgiveness, giving thanks for the gift. because she was given the extreme opposite of love, to know what unconditional love and compassion is. And she came to understand that no matter what, she is a beautiful goddess. That's how God sees her. And that these well-meaning people who thought they were telling the authentic truth were actually hurting very deeply within themselves. And were saying the truth from a sense of pain. It wasn't really truth, not the truth of love. The truth of love is upliftment, encouragement, not harm. I love you simply because you exist. The one sentence that can change your life. It changed mine. May you be blessed with this love. May you go forth and heal within. I know I'm here for you. I love you simply because you exist. You matter to me. You are beautiful. You are amazing.